bit, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm willing to listen to stuff. Let's not just be too blah blah blah, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hmm. I'm gonna head to my room to set down my computer so that way I can talk without too much trouble.
Uh, I'll just type in the I'll chat. I'll type in the chat. Actually, I don't wanna, because if I talk, I'm gonna talk for too much. So I'll put in the chat. That way, I can make my points fast and precise.
Hold on, I am just going to
If
check
you
to
want,
see
man.
if
Like
this
you
thing
don't.
is actually live, because I just started, guys. Right when David said he was about to go to his room.
Oh, jeez.
Uh,
I'll be in the
well,
I'll be in the chat.
we're gonna be pissed off.
But yeah, give me a sec. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Just quite a lot of cancellations happening, and I mean quite a lot. And quite a lot of things seem to be coming back from the dead.
Weirdly enough.
So yeah,
Well,
I think I'll start off with 6 days in Fallujah. You remember that game, right?
yes.
Uh, Happened like post 9/11. People came back from the Iraq War, and they decided to show people what it was really like over there by making a video game out of it.
Oh yeah. I I remember.
Yeah. And of course, a lot of people start throwing a hissy fit over it, saying that it's offensive to like all the people who died over there, as if World War II games were not offensive. and and the game
Well, yeah.
ultimately got canceled.
Yeah.
Well, apparently it's back.
Hmm. So I'm guessing what happened is, I haven't heard of this, but I imagine somebody might have had like a file or something lying around. Is that what happened?
Well, let's take a look. Uh, Cancel Iraq War FPS 6 Days in Fallujah resurrected for our 2021 release. Ex Halo devs are working on a realistic tactical shooter. 6 Days in Fallujah, a military FPS based on real Iraq war battles, has been resurrected by a new developer and publisher after being canceled by its original publisher over a decade ago. Set to release on PC and consoles this year, the new version of 6 Days in Fallujah is developed by Highwire Games. Not Haywire. A studio founded by Halo lead designer and published by Victura, a tactical shooter game that is based on events that took place in 2004 during the second battle for Fallujah in Iraq. So, yeah, apparently somebody else took up the reins.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's been long enough that people kind of forgot about that war. Although it wouldn't surprise me because chances are a lot of people seem to have goldfish memories nowadays.
Yeah, basically, there are so many goldfish memories, honestly, and today's honestly been kind of like a weird day for that, just because of some of the controversies I've been seeing today.
Yeah, but th- that's just one of the things
Not
that
what.
one of the things that I remember when this game was canceled and the developers decided to make just use the engine to make a multiplayer shooter game. And I managed to download that on Xbox Live Arcade. I forgot the name of it, but it it was fairly competent as far as multiplayer shooters go.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. Like I said, I really don't know much about this, unfortunately, but
Well,
what
yeah,
I've
I
been.
remember hearing all about this and feeling very disappointed when it was canceled because the idea behind it was very intriguing. Where they they were trying to do a grim dark military first-person shooter, like in the same vein as Spec Ops: The Line, and this was before Spec Ops: The Line was even announced. So
Mhm.
they were Spec Ops: The Line before there was Spec Ops: The Line, or at least they were about to be, and they were designing a game around first-hand information of not only the soldiers but also the civilians in Iraq,
Mhm.
and they were putting in various game mechanics. For example, it's like you were able to like blow holes or shoot out bricks in order to create a shooting position in a building
Mhm.
and attack from there. And it was a highly tactical style game with a heavy emphasis on realism.
Uh,
So and it was gonna go through some grimdark elements. You were gonna go through a portion of the game as a civilian too.
mhm.
So there was a little. So yeah, nowadays, I mean, this I'm seeing like concepts from like Battlefield Bad Company and dang it, what was that post-apocalyptic war game or war simulation game where you're playing as a civilian? This War of Mine, yeah, I was seeing elements of that.
Yeah.
I mean, since then there were multiple games that covered some of the topics. So the thing is, as good as this is, I'm just not sure if it'll actually be relevant, even with the mechanics and the tone, because we already have stuff like
Honestly,
this right now.
honestly, this is the problem with releasing new things that things that were intended for release that could have been really innovative, but everyone else got to it first before it was released or some form. Like a good example is recently it was unearthed that there was a Shadowhawk game from like Image Comics from back in the day. This was like a year or two ago, but it's like early '90s. It was a 2D platformer with some unique mechanics involving platforming. But it's an old 2D game from the '90s. It was not going to be relevant. It's just kind of an interesting factoid, you
Yeah,
know. Mm-hmm.
it's just, I mean, it's just a shame it was canceled in the first place, because this game could have been onto something in terms of video game storytelling, and it was actually making
Yeah.
some innovative first-person shooter mechanics on top of that, just to emphasize the whole realism behind it. I mean, this was
Mm-hmm.
gonna be the counter to Call of Duty's action hero greatness.
Yeah.
I mean, oh yeah, and as far as the whole like realism and realistic damage and combat goes, I mean, you even have Arma 3 doing that for the most part.
Yeah. Yeah. Like there's not a lot that much can be done at this point, but well, it is what it is, unfortunately.
I mean, I'm still glad that it's actually coming back. It's just I think there was just way too much wasted time. I still look forward to playing it though, just just to see the how it how it recreates the experiences of that war. Because I've heard stories of what goes on in the battles over there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Like
like this one
again.
retaking of this entire city that was in Iraq that happened like fairly recently. It was a major battle. Some soldiers have told stories of having to sleep in the same building as enemy soldiers, worrying that they might actually just come casually come downstairs and shoot them in their sleep. Stuff like that. There are stories of people who have seen suicide bombers just blow themselves up. mean, when you get right down to it, I mean, it's the horrors of war, man.
Yeah, no, like it's these are stories worth telling, and I think that's good that we can see them. You know, no issue here from me at least.
Yeah.
But
I figure I bring this up as a quick aside, and it's also somewhat related to something that was canceled that just somehow came back.
mm, well, speaking of, well, I have an unrelated side, if only because you know about this bit well, because I haven't talked about this, but it's been going on Twitter and stuff. Spoonie made a really dang dark post on Twitter, and now he's getting talked about again.
Again?
Well, what
Does
happened
it involve a
is that
radiator this time?
no, um, it's more like depression. So here's what happened. Spoonie right now, Spoonie made some bad choices in certain things. I don't know exactly every detail about this, but it is what it is. He got stuck in the snow in his house, and he's basically been kind of going crazy because he's been away from his medication
Oh, great.
for like a week. And, he's posting some dark thoughts. He tried to. He got like a wellness checkup on him, and it's been a whole thing. Right now, he is not. Uh, he is not in a good place, and honestly, it's just kind of interesting to talk about like what's been happening with him recently. Like, I don't really want to bring up too much about this because it's his business, but it's just sad to see.
Yeah, because we were great fans of Spoonie back in the day.
Oh yeah, like I thankfully never donated to his Patreon, so I never wasted money on him on that end. But sorry, people who did. I'm not trying to make fun of you or anything. I'm just,
I'm just saying,
you
don't
know,
hold out breath for that Spoonie movie.
this year was going to be year of the spooning. I'm kind of joking there. I
Dude,
don't
wouldn't it
take.
be epic if, like, during all of this, he also came back?
If it did, that would be amazing. I would love it, but I'm not. I'm not going to hold out breath here because, you know, I'd
Just like
rather be.
one more Final Fantasy review, one more, or like another Counter Monkey. I loved his Counter Monkeys.
I think we all did.
Yeah,
Look, any of us would love to have any of his stuff back. Like we're not asking for like the world here. Like, guy was amazing, but apparently he just has nothing in his life anymore. So I don't know. It's weird because honestly, Spoonie was in such a good position as creator that he really could have been okay just doing most anything. I'm not saying that he was perfect. No one is. Let's be honest. But like he was in a good position, you know?
mm-hmm.
Like, so if he was able to somehow get the help he needs or go to a doctor or just put out work, I don't know. Because the truth is, I understand the whole how everything is, but like, like let's say, like the guy had a good life, honestly, and he could have recovered. He could have really done something. He could have done like it's even weird. The weirdest thing about the That Guy with Glasses thing, and look, I'm not going to go into that thing. He was still on good terms with Doug, and for a long time. So there could have been something done. Like clearly something could have happened, but it's a sad case. Spoonie, like I said, I feel sorry for the mental state he's clearly suffering in. I don't feel sorry about the fans he screwed over, but fuck. It's just sadness all around. This is just a fucked up situation. So Sorry for being that depressing, but hey, sometimes you just kind of are. Um,
Yeah.
like in other uh in other less depressing stupid shit that I've been doing while I've been doing it. So the Star Wars Twitter account, right?
Yeah.
They decided to make a post about Black History Month, which okay, fair, that it's February, right? You know?
So how are they gonna
Um
celebrate by having Finn getting beat up by a guy in a white suit with a riot baton again?
well, they post they said that they were in support of black creators and posted a picture of Finn,
Yeah.
which
I'm
is
still not
not
getting over
exactly
that. I'm still not letting that go. It's like hyped up the first black protagonist in Star Wars, and then he gets curb stomped by a freaking stormtrooper.
dude, it's really sad, honestly. Like, basically, everyone's calling them out because, and I basically said this on my post about was that if they picked Lando or someone not in like shit, not as a shit show, it would be better overall. Like, Lando was treated pretty well by the Star Wars franchise.
He was
Hell, like
fucking
he
a
was actually one of the
robot.
first. Okay.
I'm just
Yep.
saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, basically. Look, he fucked a robot, but compared to other people, Luke Skywalker, that's getting off light. Like, seriously, there are so many arguments over Luke Skywalker right now, and oh, it's oh, like it's a whole thing.
But yeah,
So
yeah, I remember I was saying over on Discord. It's like what they did recently may very well be the last nail in the coffin for Star Wars after all of this bullshit. Because The Mandalorian was the only Star Wars people still liked of the current generation.
yeah,
But from the way things are going right now, I mean, I might as well have said this is the last nail in the coffin for Disney Plus. Holy shit, guys.
it's kind of insane, but this is what's happening.
Uh.
Look, I
Oh yeah,
said
they did
this.
like remove Finn from the Chinese posters, by the way. Yeah, happy Black History Month there, guys.
Yeah, Finn is really the best representation for Star Wars Black. Like, ugh, it's it's fucking sad. I probably would have actually
At this rate,
picked the
I
black.
would have taken the black dude who got the black pilot who just got shot down in Return of the Jedi.
Honestly, I would have posted a picture of James Earl Jones.
Exactly.
Like, let's be fair. If you're going to post about major creators who were treated well by Star Wars that were black, that would have been an easy one to do.
Or here's an idea: Mace Windu.
Mace Windu. Look, there are so many other ones.
Good.
Like,
The guy's so
like
badass that they had to get. I mean, why am I blanking out on names nowadays?
Samuel Jackson.
Yeah, they had to give Samuel L. Jackson to play as him.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
Force powers,
say,
motherfucker. But yeah,
yeah,
but yeah,
yeah,
here's what's going on recently. Earlier in the week, Gina Carano has been fired from The Mandalorian. It, it is
it's a
just,
complex.
yeah, I get it. It's a
It
complicated issue, but I still call it bullshit because let's face it,
honestly,
they they've been they've been trying to find an excuse to fire her for a while now, and
well, uh, I'm going to say this on the subject matter is that one, I probably wouldn't like Gina Carano if I met her. Honestly, we don't agree on a lot of the same stuff. I'm just going to be honest there. At least my view. Okay?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Disney, like one of the big problems is that right now the fact that this was the excuse to fire her is kind of BS on some level, not the other stuff. Disney cares about optics at the end of the day.
that that's
And
right. She
the only
criticized the
thing I can
CCP.
hold it. And right now, the fact that like we have like the fact that one of the major Disney actresses for Mulan, the person who played Mulan herself, supported the CCP in what it's been doing to Hong Kong, I find to be worse than what Gina Carano said. Like, I'm gonna be honest, this is a fucked up situation. If you want to like support Gina Carano, yeah, fine, that's cool by me. I'm not here to tell you who you support or not. But fuck Disney overall. I don't like what they do most of the time. They bought one of my favorite comic companies of all time and basically have been kind of. They've been so inconsistent with it, and it's one of those things that makes me really mad. And Star Wars has just been kind of honestly not in the best place overall to me. The fact is, like, from what I've seen, the High Republic is not doing that well. And The Mandalorian, honestly, I don't know exactly what The Mandalorian's going to be like. If it works, it works. I'm not here to really judge you, and I'm not here to judge people who keep watching it. I'm
I
really
mean,
not.
well,
But
damn, I was just saying, like, to my friends on Facebook, is just, yeah, this whole moral grandstanding is rings insincere when you're threatening to cancel your Disney Plus over Gina Carano's tweet, and yeah, and you weren't going to cancel it over the sheer fact that Disney Plus made a freaking movie next to a little concentration camp and then thanked the concentration camp guards.
honestly, that really ticks me off more than anything else.
I'm like, and
Look,
and we all know that the tweet that they fired her over was most likely bullshit. I mean, most of cancel culture is bullshit. I'll say this right now, guys. If you have to dig up a tweet from like several weeks back or even like several years ago, chances are that's not what offended you. You're just looking for something more
on
legitimate to be offended by because the real thing you got offended by was so childish and petting, you would have been laughed off the internet if you stated that out loud.
basically, like honestly, even by her like, here's the thing: what the offending tweet was comparing uh
Here,
issues to.
let's take a look at it. I
It's
mean,
not a huge. I actually comment on this because, well, I'm Jewish and like I have family, but who were in that area, who went through the experience. So let me talk about this as a guy who does. If I was mad at every asshole who said this, I would be having to basically stop every 10 seconds. That's how common this kind of is, and it's not right. Look, if you're going to compare things to Nazi Germany, you have to really make it a huge fucking deal. Frankly, that's why I'm okay with people comparing everything to George Orwell's 1984. Because guess what? That's fictional. That's not based on real events. But, you know, Nazis.
I mean, it's
It's
Godwin's law, guys. I mean, we
yeah, don't.
we've been living with Godwin's law for the past 4 years for crying out loud because everyone's gone insane. The only difference,
Yeah, no.
the only difference here is that she effectively committed Godwin's law against, well, the very people who are committing Godwin's law, from what I've been hearing.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
if what she said, like the part about like the whole like neighbors in their neighbors were getting beaten. People were being beaten in the streets by their neighbors and not by Nazi soldiers because the Nazis just really got everyone to hate their neighbors first. I'm just thinking, it's like, is that even wrong? It's like standard issue for totalitarian governments who wanted to do a mass genocide or a purge. I mean, we've seen this in socialist nations for quite a while. Even the communists did this in Russia.
Yeah.
And hell, it's practically still going on in China. I mean, that's just, I mean, that's the thing. It's like that part I'm like, she's probably not wrong about that. It
Oh
answers
yeah.
the age of question of how did we go from here to here? That's kind of how it is. I mean, I guess the one thing everyone found questionable is comparing that to just political views, to which I also have to bring up. Didn't we already go through that in the U.S. with the whole like McCarthy era stuff and the Red Scare, where
Mhm.
everyone was trying to round people up because they were suspected of being communist?
Yes. It was a whole thing. Yes. History. Like right now, history is always complicated. And like, look, if personally, I know you guys people hate their political opponents, but don't silence anybody. The more Here's the thing: if you try to silence people, you never add to your own side. You're just adding ammo to them. Because guess what? You're not you're not the underdog. Like, and the truth is, people might not realize that, but there's one aspect about this people need to realize: when people don't have as much power and they complain and they get silenced, or they feel like their platform is not huge enough even though it's minor, then guess what? If somebody bigger comes in and slaps you, people side. And I know people are going to argue how big and how, like, blah blah blah, but that's a perception, you know.
Yeah, and I've been observing. I mean, as I observe these activities, I mean, I'm just gonna say this right now, just for the record. If you strip away the context and the identities from everything, and just compare the actions of people today versus the actions of people back then, you'll realize that it's as if they've taken the souls of the worst racists and bigots of history and put them into these cancel culture nut bags.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically.
I mean, it is just haunting to me that whenever I look back on I mean, just speaking as a guy who was descended from people who were imported to America, I just kind of find it haunting that all the discrimination that I was told about of the past is starting to look very eerily reminiscent to some of the stuff I'm seeing right now.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Yeah, no.
and keep in mind, this whole thing started because, well, allegedly because she didn't put pronouns in her bio. That was it. I'm like, guys, it took me a while to actually finish putting in a profile picture in the Exalted Speed channel.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's modern day McCarthy era.
Oh yeah.
And even McCarthy's antics are starting to look a bit questionable in terms of whether or not it was legit. But I'm just gonna say, yeah, it's McCarthy era because most people don't really understand the situations behind all of that.
The McCarthy era is a complex mess filled with complex history, honestly. Um, but it's one of those things of to look back, it, like people really need to realize something is that like look, don't silence political opponents unless they say something really actually dangerous. Like some of these stuff are still debates and they are debates for reasons. I know like I know people may not like Gina Carano and I get it, but
Some people
seriously,
just say that she wasn't really all that talented of an actress to begin with, and I'm like, neither was
she
Arnold
was
Schwarzenegger, neither was The Rock. That didn't stop him from making the Scorpion King.
honestly they hired her for a role because they probably wanted someone physically right for it rather than necessarily acting talent. I'm not the biggest fan of the character myself, but if you like the character, you like the character. I'm not here to tell you what it is, but you know,
But yeah,
I. But yeah, look, right now,
I mean,
Mandalorian isn't.
whatever you feel about Gina Carano, whatever you feel about the character of Cara Dude, this this was just bullshit. This is way
I
overblown.
I think honestly, it's one of those things of they really should have handled it better, honestly, and Disney has not been great at handling things recently. And Star Wars, look, right now, Star Wars is just another controversy after another controversy, especially compared to freaking Marvel, which, God, like, what's the most major controversy with them? They can't release Black Widow. Like, seriously?
Oh yeah, and apparently
Like,
in the High Republic, it's established that Jedi do have sex, but they can't fall in love. So it's really just a one night
that's
stand.
okay. So, I'll actually explain that one. That's a little more complex than you think it is.
All right, I got to hear this then.
It was actually something established under Lucas. So, here's the truth about the whole one night stand, about the whole Jedi relationship thing. So the whole Jedi relationship thing under the original Lucas story vision was that it was thought that having attachment or be caring too deeply attachments would lead to the dark side. Which, well, yes, because here's just the truth of it. Yeah, you care about something way too much, and then something happens, and then it causes a crisis of. Look, it leads to issues, right? It's like this: you have to work your way to an acceptance, and having
Uh
the dark side in Star Wars is that um, the Jedi were basically like anything that leads to the dark side. So it was actually established under Lucas that this was kind of a thing. So this isn't the most unusual thing. It's just the fact that right now I think the High Republic has a lot of eyes on it, and this was kind of a thing then, but not really went into that much. It's one of those things that was like deep lore books, but now that you have it like in the lore, it's like, oh god, this sounds terrible. It kind of sticks out for another reason too. Mm. Um, they're really trying to push. They're really trying to push this High Republic stuff, but right now, like they're supposedly the High Republic are a more enlightened Jedi type thing, and it's kind of all over the place with that. So I don't know. Right now, I can't tell you any of the characters' names from the freaking High Republic, even if I tried. I can't even look because honestly, like the main bad guy of the High Republic looks like a fucking Zaku. with longer horns. I kind of joke, but eh.
Uh, yeah, I've never gotten into the High Republic.
It's I've tried. It's not as interesting, honestly. The problem with the High Republic so far is that none of the characters really sing to me as really cool. None of the characters look neat. The main villain is just, yo, I'm a Dark Raider. And plus, the way they're trying to tell it, they're trying to make it this multimedia project, which is a really bad idea. Because if you're going to launch something like this, you really need something. Because, okay, let me talk about multimedia projects in Japan. One of the things they always do is they make sure there's like a big piece. Like the Gundam franchise, whenever they launch a multimedia project, make sure there's an anime with main characters. So that way, if they make side stories, they have a universe to build out of and events to build from. Like in Gundam Seed, you had Gundam Seed Astray, which was a manga about events that happened, and it even filled in some plot holes for Gundam Seed. So this was kind of a thing. The High Republic is just a bunch of books, and who knows who the fuck the main characters are? Who who the frick cares? Because the truth is, they're launching this initiative about all these characters, but no one knows about them. It's basically a bunch of side stories about a main story. It's kind of impressive, honestly. Uh huh. So as and the truth is, Star Wars material in general really does need like, oh yeah, we're spinning out of these events because people care about these events. So blah blah blah. Like that's how you do this type of thing.
Yeah.
It's a little marketing savvy of me to say that, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
but yeah,
anyways, turns out the whole firing did have an effect. Now people
yeah,
now people are canceling their Disney Plus. I mean, it's like I said, it's like turns out this was really the final nail in the coffin for Disney Plus cuz The Mandalorian was the one thing anyone got it for.
honestly, I think a lot of people are just ticked off about like, look, I honestly think right now people are just tired of the fucking Lucasfilm drama that they see. That here's the problem with this all. People are just tired of it. Like you can obviously see that there is division.
Yeah, you could see that. And
Like,
and if I'm being brutally honest here, I'm perfectly okay with this. I mean, a long time ago, in one of my videos, I did say loudly and clearly stuff like this is like being married to an abusive husband that just hits you in the eye every time you point out that he's doing something wrong. So get the fucking divorce papers already.
yeah,
And
uh huh,
and that's pretty much what you're gonna have to do for Star Wars. I know it hurts. I know you love
yeah,
Star Wars, but Star Wars was not the man you married.
yeah. Jesus Christ.
It's
Yeah, yeah,
it's a very apt metaphor considering that how often they abuse their fans, and they don't even want fans; they want consumers. And do I believe that this is gonna hurt Disney in the long run? Probably not, cause they're too busy trying to chill their stuff over into China, and China can just
um,
mandate their people to buy Disney products.
uh, uh
Or do you
no,
really think it's gonna hurt Disney at
we
this
already.
level?
Disney's already hurting is the thing. Look up their quarterly earnings. They're not doing well.
Oh, it's that bad?
It's not like I don't think. Look, this is from the last quarter. This happened recently, but yeah, no, the quarterly earnings this year was meh, best, not good. I mean, it's not like the worst. Like, it's not like Disney's gonna die. But look, Disney's not in the best place. It really needs to tighten up its image. And I honestly,
Actually, I think the thing that's really probably hurting them is the loss of their theme parks due to the
theme
lockdowns.
park, theme parks, terrible choices in merchandising. Honestly, one of the big things I'll also say is that I think that the fact is, right now, a lot of people, like everyone's just kind of losing revenue streams. So no one's in good position right now. Especially because I'll tell you what, Disney right now, like, uh, like here's the thing. I don't think we talked about this, but they recently closed down Blue Sky Studios.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, which, if for people who are not know, it's an animation studio. It's an animation studio. They did the Ice Age movies and a couple of other things. Like, I'm not going to list down their entire filmography, but yeah, no, they killed it off. They were actually going to produce. They had apparently about 80% of a movie done, Nimona, which was based on the graphic novel by Noelle Stevenson, who and Noelle Stevenson and I are not exactly. I always thought they. I'm going to say they. Uh, I always thought they didn't really have that many fine chops as a creator, honestly. But a lot of people like it. I get it.
Yeah, but
So
one thing I will say is that the whole canceled Disney Plus thing did put Disney in enough of a panic to try to rehire Gina Carano. Although, honestly,
yeah,
she might as well just walk. Because even if she does come back, I mean, they're going to be pressured into firing her again. I mean, so why bother? She's actually going to be doing a movie with Ben Shapiro of all people.
yeah. Oh, jeez, that's gonna be hilarious.
Yeah, this is gonna be an amusing timeline. It,
Look, I'm sorry. I kind of want to see it because I find Ben Shapiro to be a funny, awkward man.
yeah, God,
I'm going to admit it. I hate his opinions, but I find him to be. I like making fun of him. I'm sorry.
well, at least you could say that whatever she gets into next probably won't be too boring. And at the same time, I'm just thinking, it's like some people have been saying it's like she should just do her own sci-fi ranger style show that's basically Star Wars but without but without Star Wars, without the Mandalorian or anything. And I'm just thinking, you know what? We should probably she should probably or what was her pronouns again? Boop should
Kara?
probably Boop should probably zig while everyone else is zagging. Maybe instead of doing a sci-fi series, she should do a swords and sorcery style series. E-
Maybe,
Even team up with
maybe.
Kevin Sorbo since he got canceled. Team up with Hercules. Yeah, did you hear about the Kevin Sorbo thing?
Oh yeah, I heard about him losing. I heard about him losing Facebook.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
but I'm just
like
imagining Gina Carano. I mean, with her body type, the fact that she's been an MMA fighter, and that very exotic look about her, you could probably cast her in a very Conan style film.
honestly, I'm shocked that Vin Diesel doesn't have like a D&D movie about to be made any day now. I'm
It
genuinely
is.
shocked.
It is. It's the Chronicles of Riddick series, effectively.
You're not wrong. Chronicles of Riddick 3. I got all my friends who like D&D
He,
together.
Riddick is essentially his D&D character made into a movie.
Jesus. I like it. My favorite part about the fact of the whole Riddick stuff is that he actually worked heavily on the game because he just wanted the game to be good because he was tired of movie games sucking.
And it shows. Actually,
I
I've played the
know.
game. The game is awesome. It,
I know the Chronicle Riddick games are good. They're
I,
like the best part of the franchise.
I know, right? It's got some good melee combat, a very good stealth system, it, and the shooting is fairly competent. And not only that, the environments are actually fairly diverse for being just a freaking prison. And it really does make you feel like you're Riddick in these areas. Fighting off guards, fellow inmates, and even like trapped creatures that are almost reminiscent of the creatures from the Pitch Black movie.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It
Like
is one
I
of the
would
most
love.
amazing things I've played. I love it.
Yeah. So I would be into seeing a Chronicles of Riddick movie, whatever that will be, or again, or like a video, another video game if that was so inclined. He made good video games, so hey, more power to him.
Oh damn! I'm trying to find an image of what the female player character is supposed to be in Elderborn.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, if you ever make an Elderborn movie, you could cast Gina Carano as the lead female character in that one, and she would fit right in. But yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
very Conan-esque heavy metal style, like, or just or just make a heavy metal movie, like based off of one of the stories in the heavy metal magazine, and then cast Gina Carano in one of those. She would fit right in there. Big, muscular, feminine.
Mhm. Yeah. Like I could easily see that.
And not only that, there's a dearth of swords and sorcery fantasy movies out there.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
There's a lot of.
yeah, you could be cashing in what is currently an untapped market right now, guys.
Yeah. That is fair. That is fair. We'll see what happens. Like I said, I would love more fantasy movies, but we'll see what goes on. I heard about a Game of Thrones prequel series happening at some point.
Oh dear. You think anyone's ever gonna give Game of Thrones a chance after that final season?
No.
I mean,
Uh Look, I think look, that is burning goodwill. I understand why I stopped working on it, but that they burned it down hard. Honestly, I understand what they were trying to do, but they didn't set it up well at all. They really needed a season to kind of adjust to that. But no, Game of Thrones, that series is kind of dead. I don't. I know HBO might try to revive it, but that's one of those things of too little, too late. Honestly, I got tricked to see.
yeah, the subverting expectation thing really, really pissed a lot of people off.
Yeah, basically.
And yeah, and there's gonna be a, isn't there also gonna be Lord of the Rings TV show as well.
There's supposedly an Amazon one being made, but that seems a weird shit show because I'm just going to tell you straight up, like the with as with anything with Lord of the Rings, the estate of Tolkien is kind of always in a weird flux position because sometimes the family really does care about it, sometimes they don't, uh, and that could change over time. Because I'm just gonna tell you, like, um, I would not want to do a Lord of the Rings TV series for one reason. The movies are kind of still very recent. They're not like, I'm sorry, those movies are just too huge. Like, it'd be like me trying to make a TV series based on the original Star Wars. Doesn't feel right.
Yeah, it's just kind of odd.
Honestly, I would if I was gonna do a Lord of the Rings TV series, I might base it on the fucking uh I might base it off the freaking Silmarillion, but that wouldn't
I think
exactly
that's what
work
they're
out
trying to
either.
do. They're trying to base it off of the Silmarillion.
But they're using Lord of the Rings when they're saying Lord of the Rings TV series, but it's kind of a weird place. This isn't even getting into Shadows of Mordor or something like that. You know?
Yeah. Plus, I've also been hearing some weird stuff like they were gonna try to make it very much more like Game of Thrones in a sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
basically.
and and also there's gotta be an Eisenhorn TV series from what I've heard.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
as much as I'm liking the lore behind Warhammer 40K, I think it should just stay within written format for now. I don't want this thing to be like public or mainstream in this generation.
honestly, I gotta look up Warhammer Adventures to see what happened to that.
Yeah,
I don't think it did well because, but who knows? Maybe they did do well, but I haven't heard about them ever since.
let's face it. Our current generation is just so not ready for the head exploding insanity of Warhammer 40K.
You are right about that.
As soon as they see the origins of Slanesh, they're going to throw a fit.
Yeah, basically. But anyway,
But yeah,
it's almost an hour. It's almost an hour in, and
but yeah, here's a picture I was referring to. I mean, this female character, Gina Carano, would be perfect for playing this kind of character.
I can totally see that
I mean, just
easily enough.
just have her dress up like that, fi- fight off a few other like bad guys who may also kind of look like this guy in a very like ancient desert setting. Like you could even probably like film it in the it's like in Arizona or something like that. it freaking and you get like a whole bunch of fanboys rolling in. And it's no more
Hmm.
revealing than the usual, say, like MMA suits that she probably used to wear. Just
Hmm.
have her kicking ass. Physical ass. That's what she's good for. That's what she's good at.
Yeah.
You
Make her an
want a
action star.
strong, empowered female character? There you go. Your action star is right there. Forget the forget the Daisy Ridleys or Brie Larsons. There you have it.
Yeah. Yeah.
AJ's
Literally.
all alone in the chat. Well,
Oh,
we're
I'm
we're,
AJ.
we're gonna wrap this up here, anyways. But I might as well end this on a high note. I mean, we've seen the canceled return from 6 days to 6 days in Fallujah to Gina Carano, and for all we know, Kevin Sorbo might make a comeback somewhere.
Um, honestly, who knows with Kevin Sorbo? I could. He's always been like a weird actor in weird places. For all I know, next time we see him, he's gonna just be like, "Yeah, I'm in a Hercules revival project." I'm like, "The fuck is this day and age?" So, not saying it's not possible, but I would find it funny as fuck.
Oh yeah.